Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 274A. It's a Tier 8 Soviet premium medium tank. It's located on the north spawn of Clip, and it's under the command of Citron01. And he's trying to get his third mark of excellence, and he's got 2 on the barrel already. Game on! This tank was supposed to be a replacement for the T-54. It wasn't actually built. They actually discontinued at the blueprint stage because it was just too complicated. They were going to make a cast hull, and it's a kind of boat-shaped hull actually if you look at it closely. It's got a 107mm gun instead of the usual 100mm, so it's capable of doing 320 alpha. And it's got a fairly fast reload time, 8.63, but you can see Citron01's got it down to 7.09. Now, that may not sound a lot actually, but it's actually comparable if you think about a 122mm having a 10-second reload or thereabouts. Okay, he's taking it to the centre line, and he spotted the ELC M90. Oh, he got around into him for 411, which is a high roll, but he did get spotted. Go for it again. No, couldn't get it out in time. Oh, yeah, bad move by the EBR there. Came around the corner and got whacked for it. And now he's going to get whacked again. He didn't pull away in time. And he's out the game. First kill. Now, apart from having a cast hull, it's also got a kind of cast turret. Oh! Well, actually, he did get the kill there. Or did he? No, he didn't get the kill, sorry, beg your pardon. But the enemy was wiped out. He's now got a 53 TP, low roll, 280. Coming around the corner, here we go. Oh, he hit us in the tracks. Well, that's good, and we got a high roll back at him. Go through again. Yep, punch him through that front. We've got penetration of 227mm on the standard. And you can see, because he's working on his third mark, he's loaded nothing but APCR and a few rounds of HE rather. And the APCR rounds have got penetration of 289mm, which is enough for Tier 8. Try to go at the IS-2M there. The 53 TP's pulled all the way back. He's a little bit concerned. I'm worried about the any tank destroyers who might be up in the tank destroyer nest, because this is the moment they normally intervene and try and shoot. The ISM's using that rock for cover. Yes, there we got him. Oh, it went bounced off the turret, didn't get him. In fact, we bounced his round as well. And we've got a no tank there. Yep, there was an M2Y. That funny shaped turret. Okay. He's coming forward, and he takes a round, low roll 290. Now, the thing I can say about 274A is that it needs to be close to its target to shoot, because the gun is actually very inaccurate for a medium like this. It can wipe out heavies, it's got enough DPM to take them out, but as I say, it has to get close, because otherwise, if it doesn't, it can't hit them. So it's not a long-range shooter. Get a shot there on the low tank. Yep, it's another one in. Low roll, 308. The one thing about it, though, is that you don't want to get stunned in this tank or tracked, because if you do, then it could mean you get wiped out, because, as I say, it does have very good turret armour, and as I said, the hull's cast, but the armour's not great overall. Turret armour at the front is 220mm, but the hull, the best is 95 at front. So it's kind of vulnerable. If you get hacked or you get stunned, then chances are the enemy's going to go to town on you and take you out fairly quickly, which is one of the reasons why I suppose that they decided against making this the T-54 replacement. As I said, too complicated to actually make. He's trying to get the better on that M3Y. Is he going to go all the way up the hill? Yeah, it looks like he's going to try. This can be normally quite dangerous. Always using the ret cover, pumps around into the E25, gets a high roll for 357. There's an IS-2 in sight, or is it? No, it's not. It's I thought it was an IS-2. He almost went off the road there, but he's actually got good position on the 122 TM. Hello. Pops one in and takes the kill. Now he can really terrorize these guys on this corner. There's no Arty, so we're not worrying about a shell coming down on us. But okay, M2Y, can he get the gun down? Yes, he can. And he pumps one in and finishes off the M2Y. And now we've got that 53 TP, the one he hit earlier in the game, and he's out of the game as well. But now he's committed himself, and he has to come down from this position. Can't stay up here. No. He can back up onto this ledge, but well, okay, he's turned himself around so he can get down from this position. He's trying to do it as safely as he can without actually losing any hit points or getting spun around. And he's done it! Very well done. I've seen people career off the top of that hill and smash themselves to pieces at the bottom because they didn't do it carefully enough. But Citron01 was very careful in this one. Now he has lost some hit points. You can see he got hit in the turret and a few bounces on the front of his vehicle. There's still some enemy out there. In fact, there's a Jagdpanther Spy. No, couldn't get through the armor there, even with APCR. Try for it again, low plate. Oh, he gets the side instead, and he gets a high roll, 325. Makes the Jagdpanther Spy now a one-shot. Well, he's looking to his right at the moment. I don't think you need to worry about what's going on to your right. I think you need to worry about that Jagdpanther Spy. Oh, now maybe that's what he was thinking about. The M3Y went up the hill and now he's being hit by the Jagdpanther Spy, which is what I said he should have been concerned about. And in fact now we've got enemy tanks in sight down below. From this position he can get a shot on that IS-2. Oh, he was waggling like mad to try and avoid a hit. After all, he is a one-shot. This is for his kill. Oh, he selected. What happened there? I think he accidentally pressed the button twice. He's going for his top gun. He selected an HE round. There's a steer Waffenträger somewhere around here. And of course, Steel Waffenträger, very light armor. Takes a big hit for 420. Goes for the ram. Now he can kill the guy with one shot. So that's his top gun. There's the IS-2. Ooh, that's sneaky. He's gone into the Western Pass. Fired one quick one in there, but he's reloading with the APCR now to make sure that he gets through the IS-2's armor. Our Wizzy 111 1FT's trying to chase him as well. He's in the way, and we haven't got a shot because he's around the other side of the rock, but now we have, and that's a kill. 7 kills, one short of getting a Radley's, and that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Citron01 in the Object 274A. He managed to get a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. He also got a Judas for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and a shell proof for blocking more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. He also managed to pick up a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and he got a top gun as well for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he got 7, one short of getting that Radley's right at the end. There was nobody else that he could kill. It was a pity that he didn't kill the Jagdpanther Spy. If he had, I think that might have given him the chance to get that Radley Walters. But yes, I think he was very keen to try and get out of the way of their guns, because that M3Y could have actually shot him, and the Jagdpanther Spy could have shot him again, and that would have been rather unfortunate. But anyway, let's have a look at the team score and see where he is. Well, he got the high damage with 4,817 hit points overall. The next highest scorer was the SU-122-44 on the enemy team with 3,005 hit points, and the third highest damage was the AMX-1357 on his team with 1,984. When it came to kills, he easily scored the top with 7 kills. The next highest scorer being the SU-122-44 with 3 kills, and there's a whole bunch of tanks with 2 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,762 went to Citron01, 1,293 went to the AMX-1357, and the next highest one after that was a Progetto 54, who managed to get 819. So these two guys between them were really terrorizing the enemy. Remember, that's a tier 7. Citron01 was tier 8, so to get that higher score on tier 8 you had to be really working it, and he was working it, scoring the damage, but of course he did have to expend APCR to do that. 31 shots fired, 22 direct hits on the enemy, but only 18 penetrations. The penetration isn't that great actually. It's got a good alpha, this tank, and a good pen, but it's not all that I say good pen, but it's not all up to that, because he's 4 shots failed to get through the armor. Well, I think some of those shots must have hit the wrong part of the tank. He did hit the Yang Panther on the upper plate rather than the lower plates, and if it had been the lower plate it would have gone through. He also got 1 splash damage on the enemy. Of course, he was using HE against the steel weapon Traeger. 4,817 hit points of damage, of which 325 were up more than 300 meters. He received 8 hits from the enemy, only 3 of which actually penetrated, but yeah, he had 2 of those together at the same moment, rather unfortunate. 5 non-penetrations and 1,510 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 7, and 449 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 90,011 credits from the game, 67,509 from personal reserve, 65,000 for completing a mission, 267,526 credits altogether. That's rather a lot, almost as much as a frontline battle. And after repair, ammunition, respawn, consumables, and even though he fired premium ammo, he still ended up with a profit of 144,581. In fact, he would have made a profit even if he was on a free-to-play account. 1,762 XP, 1,322 from personal reserves, same again from tactical training, 264 for this being a premium vehicle, and 551 experience points, so 5,551 experience points altogether. So the 274A. Let's have a look at the armor profile for this tank. Well, if you look at the collision model straight away, I think you can see that, yeah, the armor's very heavy around this cast turret. It's a cast hull as well, and it's kind of boat shaped, you can see, and that actually helps because the angling there actually deflects shells and makes it more difficult for it to actually get into the vehicle, because remember, it's never actually hitting a flat surface, it's actually hitting a rounded surface, and rounded surfaces tend to deflect shells. So you can see that the armor at the front of the vehicle, they're very, very strong. 220 on the front of the turret, but it's actually coming out at 348 because of the shape. And of course, as you go progressively outwards, the effective armor drops, but of course, chances are you're going to ricochet off the armor. Lower plate 95mm coming out at 206 because of the rounding. Upper plate 95 coming out at 168. You can see drivers sitting in the center because the viewports. There are a couple of cupolars. One on the right and one on the left. Now, the one on the right, it's got the viewport. So obviously there's the gunner sitting up front, and behind him we've got tank commander. 130mm on those, to impacted, but effective 152. They're very difficult to hit actually. You have to be fairly accurate. Easier to shoot down on this tank rather than shoot horizontally at it. If we go to the live model, because of course some people like to see that, you can see the turret itself very strong indeed. The hull less so, slightly easier to get through shots in through the hull. This thing only has 6 degrees of gun depression, so it's not a Ridgeline Warrior. You would have to expose your hull in order to get at the enemy. And again, that's another reason why it's not great as a medium tank. But there again, the T-54 doesn't have much in the way of gun depression either. From the side, you can see the armor, 110 impacted, but it's actually effective 129. Remember, it's angled. It's all rounded and curved. And towards the back, it's 70 millimeters coming out at effective 8. So they've actually put more armor up front than they have at the rear. Side of the turret, 115 millimeters coming out at 134. Rear of the vehicle's lighter, 45 millimeters on the back there, coming out at about 46. So it's kind of flattish. The engine deck, only 30 millimeters. So Arty should be able to punch through that. Rear of the turret's only 40 millimeters. So that's where all the armor is. If this thing angles slightly, you're likely to get ricochets at the rear, maybe on the lower plate, but not on this area here. And you actually weaken the turret if it's looking forward by shooting from the side. Let's have a look at the modules. This is where you'll get a laugh. Okay, well, the problem here is I'm afraid that I come back full screen. There we go. They have got a module map, but I'm not sure this is the module map for this tank. And I don't know why this has happened, but obviously somebody needs to report it to Armored Inspector, because that is not where everyone is in this tank. In fact, I think we can take a guess that the shell itself looks right. And if we go to texture, yeah, there's the tank you see. We know the driver's up front, so this is correct. The tank commander will be on the viewport's cupola, and the gunner is directly in front of him, which makes the loader on the left-hand side of this tank, because that's the one doesn't need any viewports. He's shoveling shells into the gun, and of course all he needs is a hatch to get out of if there's some problem. And so we know that it's an engine at the rear, probably shielded or covered by 2 fuel tanks, one either side. And that's about all that we can tell. We can't tell where the ammo racks are, other than maybe they might be in the bustle. We don't know for sure, but I'm afraid there's not a lot we can say about this tank, because I'm afraid they've got the wrong model. The good news is we actually have a second replay for you. Yes, Citron01 sent in us another double replay featuring the same tank. So let's have a look at the second battle. The second battle is from the south spawn of Pearl River, and if this replay sounds a little different, it's because I'm choosing to use a different microphone. Hopefully this one will work. I've gone through one other already and that one failed. Let's see if this one works. Game on. Okay, it looks like Citron01 is going to head off to the heavy tank area over on the east of the map. He's got some company, a Barask, a Super Hellcat and an M3Y, and there's also an IS-2 to his right. Oh, he's got his gun up already. He's confident he's going to win this one. He just needs to get a really good score in terms of hit points, and that will give him the 3rd mark. Baraska's found someone. Progetto 54, Italian heavy. He just needs to get to a position where he can start pumping shells into that guy. He's using nothing but APCR and a few HE rounds. Okay, first round's a low roll, and it looks like he's found a little depression there in that area to get gun depression on the enemy. Artificial gun depression. No, 3rd round didn't work, but he has taken quite a lot of damage. Oh, he's a one-shot now. Just need to get one more round in. Oh, we went right up the rear of the Barask just as he took out the Progetto. Yeah, it looks like the enemy went through the village instead of coming down this way. That's why there was only one tank here. And oh my god, there's a couple of tanks coming up behind us. A Tiger 1 and an IS have both appeared in our rear, and they just took out our Super Hellcat. Yeah, he's telling the rest of the team fall back because the enemy was behind us, and there's a T... Oh, our T-34-1 dies. Now, can we get some shots into these tanks? Tiger 1 first. And we bounced the 88 round that came back. You see the IS behind him. Trying to get the gun down. Pumps one into the Tiger. It actually hits the tracks, but it does immobilize him, makes him an easy shot, and that's a good hit. But now the IS is coming around the corner, and he wangles to get rid of that shell. Now he puts one into the IS. Low roll again. It's got a one shot now, and he takes the kill. The Tiger 1 is wiped out by the Barras. So Barras has got 2 kills, and Citron01's got 1. And a Progetto's come up behind us. So they've tried to outmaneuver us all the way. Pumps one into the side of the Progetto, drives straight through the center of us. Yeah, can we get another one? Yep. He's maxing out on the damage. Progetto tried to fire back, but it's not going to work. And there's the kill shot. He would have rammed him to death if it had been a low roll, but he managed to get a high enough one to make it count. Yeah, even the Progetto's 90mm had trouble trying to get through the hull, or in fact through the turret, and you can see that Citron01's turret's been mightily abused, but as you know, it's got very strong armor on the turret, which makes it very difficult to pen. Okay, the Barras went up the other way. I think he's looking for that Super Hellcat. We're 3 tanks down on the enemy at this point, which is not good. There's Super Hellcat over the other side of the map. Let's see which way he was going, but he was actually looked like he was heading south. Now, in the village, there could be an ISU-152 and a Jagdpanther. They were last seen in that vicinity. Okay, Citron01's decided to go first. He's got more armor than the Barras. As you know, the Barras don't have much armor at all, really. Careful. Oh, there he is. Good snapshot. Takes down the ISU-152K. And we lose one of our E25s. So the enemy's still 3 tanks ahead of us. You see the Super Hellcat over the other side of the map. Yes, he did travel south. Looks like he's headed towards our cap area. Can we get a shot? Well, I'm not sure that actually did hit the target, but there's another Super Hellcat just below us. Oh, and we just... Oh, he's flipped! He's just flipped himself! Oh, we took him round in the side from the Borsig. But one shot into the engine bay and the Super Hellcat is trash. Okay, and that's 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he might actually have a high caliber. If so, that means the third mark of excellence might be on the cards. Oh, looks like he's going to try and dismount. This is a very dangerous spot to dismount from. Oh, we lost some hit points there. You don't get many hit points on the Object 274A, only 1200. But there again, it is a medium tank. It's one of the reasons why you have to be careful you don't get tracked or stunned, because it kind of makes you vulnerable. You'd only take 4 shots from a 122mm rounded gun to actually take you out. So you have to be careful. Now the enemy does have an Arty. It's a Lorraine 15550. And I guess he's headed to the back of the enemy cap area to try and find out if he's still here. And this makes him vulnerable to that Borsig. If he's directly behind us, he could get an easy shot into our back. But he didn't try. And there's no sign of the Lorraine. So I kind of get the feeling he's moved. He's propelled himself out of this area and headed south for the winter. And the enemy's capping. And I'll take a guess who that is. That's probably the Lorraine. Okay, he's telling the Barras to defend the cap area. I don't think the Barras needs any prompting on that. He'll probably get to a position where he can shoot at the cap without being shot back at. The worry is that we're coming up on the Borsig. He was last seen in this area. Only one in the cap at the moment. It must be the Arty. Okay. E25 spotted. The M3Y found him for us. We're loading the APCR. Oh, excellent! Got a direct hit at distance, and that's difficult in the 274. Tried to get the Borsig, but couldn't get him on that shot. The shell went right over the top of him. Trying to get the... No, couldn't get it. He was moving too quickly. Okay, there's the E25. Now we've got a chance again. And he's taken out by the Barask. Very well done. And that means the enemy is now reduced to just their Borsig and the Lorraine 15550. And we know where the Borsig is. He's just been found by the M3Y. He's trying to tell him, disengage, pull back. The Barask has got 5 kills. We've got 4. We're on for a brothers in arms after the platoon. And we've just lost the M3Y. So if the Barask gets this kill, he will get a top gun. If we get it, then we need the next kill in order to get a top gun for ourselves. And there goes the Borsig. Yep, the Barask got him, which means that he's got a top gun. And all we need to do now is find out where that Lorraine 15550 went. I reckon he must have gone behind the cap area, down to the south, behind that rock. Because otherwise the Barask would have seen him. He was lost in this area here. Barask is coming up. No. I think he turned around. No, he is behind the rock. Yes, I was right. Okay, now going for the kill. Barask got a shot into him already. Here's a one shot. He's coming this way. There he is. Nicely taken. And that wins the game. Guns up. He's happy. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tanker for Citron01 in the Object 274A, and he got his 3rd mark, yes, despite the fact that the Rask ended up with more hit points in that one, not more hit points, more kills. He did get the 3rd mark because he managed to max out on the damage he did, and he got the high caliber. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11. A fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, just 1 short of getting that top gun, as well as a fire effect for doing more damage than hit points for his own vehicle, and a shell proof as well for blocking more damage than hit points for his own vehicle. And because he was in platoon with that Barras, they both picked up a Brothers in Arms from that game. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage in the game goes to Citron01 with 3,952 hit points. The next highest damage was the Barask, who got 2,899. And the 3rd highest damage was, in fact, the enemy ISU-152. He was sitting in the village, pumping rounds into our teammates from up there. 2,391 hit points of damage earned by him. When it came to kills, it was the Barask who did the best. He got 6 kills. 5 kills went to Citron01, so he was only 1 behind. And 2 kills went to the Borsig, the ISU-152, and their IS. And when it came to base XP, it was Citron01 who did the best in this one. 1,358 went to him, 1,138 went to the Barask, and the next highest scorer was the E25 with only 693. So only 2 players managed to get over 1,000, and between them, they cleared more than 2/3 of the enemy. He fired 19 rounds in this game, got 15 direct hits on the enemy and 14 penetrations, damage of 3,952 hit points, of which 315 were at more than 300 meters. He received 7 hits from the enemy. 1 was a penetration and 6 non-penetrations, and 1,580 hit points of damage blocked by armor. The penetration, by the way, came from the Barask. It was when he was going through that little lower road after flipping the Super Hellcat, or rather the Super Hellcat flipped himself, but he went in to try and finish him off, and the Barask had him lined up and shot one straight into his side. And of course, with the Barask having a 128mm gun, he was able to do considerable damage. 6 non-pens though, most of those actually hit the turret, and as you know, the turret's very, very strong. 1,580 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, 244 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 74,397 credits for the battle, and after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, and even though he fired premium rounds, he still came out with a profit of 29,611 credits for the game. 1,358 XP, 1,019 for tactical training, 204 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 3,260 experience points altogether. I do apologise if the mic is not up to scratch. I probably am going to have to order a brand new microphone. Hopefully I'll get a really good one, but it appears that I just can't get the old microphone, which is an expensive one, to work. It just doesn't want to give me a good results. So I'm afraid, yes, it's going to take a little while for me to fix these things. Hopefully Amazon will deliver tomorrow, and we'll be back up in operation. But in the meantime, I will be generating plenty of videos for the other channel, which of course doesn't actually require a microphone, because I just record it straight to OBS. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that replay, and if you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And congratulations again to Citron01 for third marking yet another tank in the game. Very interesting. Thanks for watching.